Hey everybody, and welcome back. I'm going to show you a new car this afternoon. I went from a Honda Ridgeline to a Honda Accord Hybrid Touring that I'm going to show you a little bit about today. This car is pretty stunning in platinum white, and as you see equipped here, comes in about $38,000. But what we'll show you here shortly is just how much bang for the buck you're getting at that price. So come along with me. I've learned my lesson the hard way out here that wind noise is no joke, especially with this new phone. So I'm trying something a little bit different with a lapel mic. Hopefully you notice a difference. 2021 Honda Accord Hybrid Touring in platinum white over ivory interior. This car is a 2-liter VTEC 4-cylinder, and in the hybrid trim, as you see it, this car gets an impressive 43 miles per gallon combined. It says quoted here on the window sticker, 44 city and 41 highway. Of course, in touring trim, this car is, as they say, fully loaded. You can see here the ivory interior leather seats, nicely bolstered driver and passenger front buckets, and a cavernous center console that we've been seeing become more of a thing, which I'm thrilled about. There's some power outlet functionality in there. A couple of cup holders, this closable door here that gives you access to the wireless charging for your smartphone, and then obviously some typical infotainment functionality there. I do love on the interior it has this nice open pore darker wood. Don't know how well you can see that, and a pretty rockin' audio system. I did blast this thing out pretty good just to get it test driven that way. How about those 19-inch wheels, by the way? I think this is a maybe new for 2021 design, I'm not sure, but they are very attractive. Running 235/40 series all-season tires. I'm an especially big fan of the front end design. This has a really nice looking presence to it, especially with these awesome LED headlamps. Obviously the camera doesn't capture it well in terms of being a consistent glow, but in person these are really striking and have superb nighttime visibility. There's even some tech here in the back seat for folks who need some comfort as a passenger. Notice that the rear seats are heated with 3 different temperature levels, and then over here we have a couple USB ports. So they've really thought of everything in terms of maximizing comfort for the cabin. Let's see if this thing has any cup holders, and it does. So very executive feel to it back here with some of that content. At this point we've all grown pretty accustomed to the transmission selector here with the push button interface. Here you can see our dual zone climate control automatic heated and cooled front seats, and a lot of neat functionality here in the gauge cluster. So I'm expecting this over here to be some sort of reminder about rear occupants who may or may not be wearing seat belts. Here you can see one of the features that I'll load up here, the head-up display. So the button down here is at the left-hand side by the steering column. You also have functionality here for your trip meter, toggling through it there. But anyway, the head-up display you can turn on or off. You see it kind of fades out there. And then you can also raise or lower it in the field of vision. Hopefully you can see this. And I almost forget that it's there, to the point that, you know, I could live without it or whatever. But I think it is a cool feature for folks who do want to sort of keep their eyes up that level. Gonna call it a wrap here with the Accord, just doing a final top off on the gas tank. It does have capless fueling like most modern Honda and Acura products, but this has been a real peach of a car. I have had really only about a 200-mile stint with it, but it is an all-around easy-going ride to cruise around with. Let's wrap up the week with the 2021 Honda Accord Hybrid Touring. Now, I will say that at the beginning of this review, I honestly had very low expectations for this car. I kind of have always had a weird distaste for hybrids. I don't know if it was that and the fact that it's quote unquote just an Accord, but I kind of felt like it would just be a little bit of a disappointment, and it very much wasn't. In fact, it was so impressive that when I went to make my list, as I always do, of goods and bads, I had a tough time even finding a single thing to put on the bad list. So let's just go through it real quick. The car, as it's currently equipped, is $38,000. Now, obviously, like I said, this is the Touring, which is very top trim, 2-liter VTEC, 4-cylinder, 4-wheel disc brakes, McPherson strut suspension, and so on and so forth. I won't get into the details here, but really, the important part to me is that price tag, $37,000, and then this number right here is killer, 43 mpg, and it's a big car. It has plenty of power. I never really felt like I was in a 43 mile per gallon car. And to that I say major kudos to the engineering team who put this drivetrain together, because they did a fantastic job with it. Some of the stuff I particularly loved about it was just the overall smoothness in terms of kind of that transition between when the car is alternating between gas and electric power. On a lot of cars seems to be pretty clunky, and the Accord does a nice job of integrating all of that without even really being able to let you know that it's switching from gas to electric. I do love all the tech content. This thing is, I think, even now currently connected to my phone via CarPlay, so I kind of got accustomed to getting used to that. I love that even though it's a hybrid, it doesn't lose sight of some sporty flair, and these 19-inch wheels are really, really stunning. I was headed home from an appointment, and I took a phone call, and the call transferred to the car, and I was able to carry on a full-blown conversation at 80 miles an hour on the freeway with really no concerns about audio quality. And in a lot of cars that I've driven, or people who I've talked to with Bluetooth connectivity and in-car sort of phone audio, you can just tell when somebody's in their car because the quality's not good and you sound like, or they sound like they're a football field away. But honestly, this thing was super nice the whole way through that conversation, almost to the point where I never even was compelled to pick up my phone, which typically I would do in the past. So anyways, that, my friends, is my quick and easy Honda Accord review. Like I said, I racked my brain trying to think of something bad to say about it, because any bona fide journalist needs to have some credibility by not always making everything like a sales pitch. But honestly, this definitely impressed me.